Shalom, shalom, everybody. It's Lona Reshel Taylor over here in Zipporah Symbol Shop. And today I have a tallit that I want to showcase and feature for you, to show you some techniques that I do on some of my products. I have 3 different ways that I can do lettering or symbols, and that is embroidery with an embroidery machine, applique, which is similar to like an emblem on a Letterman jacket, or a patch that you might see like on a serviceman's shirt. It's satin stitching all the way around the patch, and so I can do lettering and symbols in that way, and I'm going to show you that today. Also, hand painting. I have a lot of different tallits that I've done in the past. Before I had my embroidery machine that did lettering, I was doing hand painting. So I'm an artist at heart and for life, and so I enjoy doing all those different kinds of mediums with my products. Today I am going to showcase for you the Father of Light Tallit, and now this is one that on my website you might see one that's just white with the blue menorahs on the chest area with no Torah. Very simple Father of Light, which has menorahs on the tallit. This one is done in a different color scheme. It's done with an olive color scheme, and it has a stripe pattern on it with olive and gold and a dark olive drab. This is actually called dried herb. It's a really nice sage green color. And at the bottom we have hand-loomed linen fringe that's sewn into the bottom edge of the tallit, right underneath the stripes there. Okay. And then we have the corners that are just a simple square with the navy blue seats on the corners in the Sephardic style. Now the corners have satin stitching around the outside edge. Also has a border stitch right inside the satin stitch that kind of goes in line. I did that extra for the customer just so that the design looks more balanced with the menorah. Okay, now here's the menorah. There's 2 of them on this tallit on both sides of the ends of the Torah. Let me show you what it looks like close up. And what this is applique, and it is material fabric, linen fabric that's cut out the piece, and then I do thread painting on it. And then all around the outside edges, it's raw edge applique, it's called. It is a satin stitch. And you can see I did different sizes of the satin stitch. Down at the bottom I did it a little bit thicker, and then coming up to the top. Now if you see on the one section right below the cups, you'll see the border stitching that I incorporated into the thread painting to make it look like a gold nugget type of metal. Okay? And that's what the corners, you see, has the same design on the corner edge of the menorah. Now, the other part of the applique on this design is the lettering, and this one is in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, and this says Kodesh Lo Yahuwah, which means set apart to Yahuwah, the Creator. And as you can see, all of the letters are sewn on, and been appliqued, and then sewn all around the edges of the satin stitch. Now, this is a really nice technique because it brings in a little bit more of an artistic design to your tallit design. I really love doing applique. Now let me tell you something. I have a major breakdown on my embroidery machine right now, and so I wasn't able to do embroidered lettering and the menorah for this customer. Actually ordered the embroidered style. I had to contact some of my customers while I'm on their actual design and let them know I wasn't able to do it, but this is what I can do. I was doing this before I had my embroidery machine. So, okay, just to show you a little bit about the technique of applique. First of all, I have to get the satin stitching on my machine, the tension correct on the satin stitching. So here's my little sample sheet just to show you how many times I go through this just to get the satin stitching correct, and then I practice on a couple of letters so that I can get it really nice and accurate, because that's the key of it, making it look very, very professional. And it does take a lot of skill. I've been doing this for about 15 years, so I really enjoy it. The first way that we do it with the menorah, okay, I'll show you how I got to this stage, the menorah. First of all, I print out a menorah on cardstock and then cut it out like a template. And then I have my fabric that I use, whatever fabric I'm going to use for the symbol or the letters. And then we have a product that's called Heat and Bond. And what that is like, it's kind of like a really, really slight glue application or adhesive that is adhered by ironing. So this goes on the fabric, okay, irons on the one side of the fabric so that you have this peel off paper on the back of the paper. But of course, before I peel it off, I draw the letters or the menorah onto the piece of fabric that I have the adhesive on. And this is so that you don't have to use pins while you're sewing with your applique. Now, once I get the letters and the menorah, the symbol that I'm using, on the paper, you actually have to make sure, if you're using letters, you have to make sure you do them backwards, so that when you cut out the letters and then you see the fabric size will be correct and readable. So this just peels off, and there's kind of like a really slight adhesive that adheres with the iron. So then I take it and put it on the Tallit, iron it on, and then I go to the sewing machine and stitch it all around. Now here's the letters. And this is a very artistic process that I don't know how many people do this, but this is how I have derived it. I have I did a whole template of the Paleo Hebrew letters. Okay, here's the IN. Here's the Kaf. And what I do is I print it out on a piece of paper. Then I glue and adhere them to cardstock, or I print it out on cardstock, either way. But to get the letters the right size is very important, so that you have enough fabric substance of the letter to stitch around, where just the stitching's not going to show. You're going to be able to see the fabric texture and everything. There's the noon. Right, so I have a whole alphabet of the Hebrew language. I went through this just recently because I have never done applique. I haven't done applique in about 8 years because I've been using the embroidery machine. So when I was just doing applique before, I wasn't using the Paleo Hebrew at that time. Now I am. So now I got a whole set of the Paleo Hebrew templates for applique. And if anybody of you are seamstress out there that are doing this kind of thing, and you want you need more information, just contact me. I'm happy to help you. This isn't a secret. You can find out how to do applique anywhere, out on YouTube even. It's called Raw Edge Applique. And so that's basically it. I just have the I put the letters on, and then I sew them on with a stitching. Now I was thinking about putting the texture on these, like the thread painting, but I thought this time I'll just leave them plain this time. So with that, I want to say I hope I gave you some value today and showed you a little bit of some of the skill sets that I use on my Tallit, and the difference between the embroidery and the applique, which takes a lot more skill than just putting it on a hoop and letting the machine do it, which you gotta know how to run the machine, and that's a skill in itself also. Those industrial machines are pretty, have a mind of their own actually, and going to the applique is more of a personal skill. You need to have accuracy going around the edges, the raw edge, because it's just raw edge fabric, and you've got to make sure it's all covered so it's really nice and even and nice and straight. Because if you just go off a little bit, it'll look crooked. So it does take a skill, and that's what you're paying me for, is the skill, and to put your Tallit together just the way you want it. It's personal worship, and that's what it is. You get your design set the way you want, and and then you just really enjoy the worship that you have with the Most High Creator. So with that, I want to say you're blessed and highly favored. I hope I brought you some value today. And if you have any questions, just get a hold of me right out here on Facebook. And if you want to call me, you can call me and chat with me. I welcome any kind of collaboration on artistic design. Anything you need to know, I'll try to help you out if you have any questions about any kind of construction of the garments or the tallit. And with that, I want to say shalom, shalom. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.